Hey guys, welcome to Just One Yoga. My name is Jess and I'm going to be leading you through today's practice. Today we're going to focus on back bends as requested by my friend Nicole in Toronto. She's also a fantastic volleyball player. Today I'm going to lead you through a series of poses that will focus on beginner back bends that will help you set the foundation and practice for my future videos with more advanced back bending. Alright, so why are we doing back bends and what are the benefits? So one of the benefits of back bends is that it opens up your shoulders and your chest and it stretches out your abs. So if you're sitting all day at work or driving or in your gadget, anytime that you're sitting or you're on a computer, which most of us are now since we're working from home, we tend to be hunched over and we hold a lot of stress in our neck and in our shoulders. So a way to alleviate that stress and to release your muscles in that area is to do back bends. That opens up the chest and shoulders and it elongates the spine and it also strengthens your back. So once your abs are also stretched out, it also increases it's able to increase your posture, stretch out your spine, and give you better posture at the end of the day, okay? Also, back bends help with mobility of the spine and gives you greater range, okay, if you have a stiff back. All right, so without further ado, let's start in child's pose. All right, so when you're child's pose, let's bring our knees to mat distance apart, toes to touch. Let's send our arms up nice and long, reaching forward for the front of the wall. And we're gonna place our forehead on the mat. And we're just going to rest our eyes and really reach forward for that wall to give yourself a nice extended child's pose and also to start to stretch out your back and your shoulders. So here we go. Let's hold this child's pose here for 5 breaths. Really starting to feel grounded. Beginning to let everything go. And really start to focus on our practice today. All right, 2 more breaths here, guys. Deep inhale. And deep exhale. Good, deep inhale. And deep exhale. Awesome. From your child's pose, let's walk ourselves up into a tabletop position. So having your hands to shoulder distance apart, we're gonna have our knees hip distance apart rather. Have the tops of your toes on your mat. All right, so from here, let's do a couple of cat-cow breaths. Everything we're doing right now is to warm our spine. Here we go, inhale. Put your bum and forehead towards the ceiling, coming into a cow. Exhale, chin to chest, round your spine, look between your knees, coming into a cat. Good, deep inhale, forehead and bum towards the ceiling, coming into a cow. Good, exhale, chin to chest, round the spine, look between your knees. Deep inhale. Good, deep exhale. 2 more times here, guys. Deep inhale. And exhale. 1 more time. Let's hold our cow here for 5 breaths. Chin towards the ceiling, glutes towards the ceiling, and hold this here. Good for 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Come back to neutral. You're gonna gaze towards your mat, keeping your spine nice and long and tall here, okay? So from here, let's do some tiger stretches and tiger rollouts, again, to further warm up our spine, okay? So for our back bends, we're gonna place our left knee in the center of our mat. We're going to reach our right leg forward, flex the right foot toes, and then we're going to round the spine, bring the knee towards the forehead. Deep inhale. As you inhale, you're gonna lengthen, gaze towards the front of the wall. Exhale to release. Good, deep inhale. And exhale. Good, keep going, deep inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. This last time here, we're going to exhale Extend your right foot towards the back of the wall. Flex your right foot, gaze towards the front, and hold this here. Good for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring the right knee back to center. And let's do the same thing on the other side. So let's just do the same thing for the left side. Here we go. We're going to inhale. Lengthen our left leg towards the back of the room. Flex your left foot toes. Gaze towards the front of the wall. Good. Exhale to release. Bring your forehead to meet your knee. Good. Deep inhale. Exhale. Let it go. 3 more times. Deep inhale. Exhale to release. Inhale. Exhale. This time we're going to hold this here for 5. Good. 4, 3, 2. Really round that spine. And 1. Good. Awesome. All right, guys. Come into a child's pose to release the back. So knees to mat distance apart, toes to touch. Bring your glutes towards your heels. Send your hands towards the front of the room. Nice flat palms. Elbows off the mat. And then place your forehead and hold us here. So in your extended child's pose, we're not resting or restorative. It's actually quite activated as you press your palms into the mat, okay? So forehead on the mat and hold. Good. Let's release some tension that we're holding in that lower back as well. Excellent. Let's begin to open up your shoulders. Release the tension from the neck. Awesome. All right, so from here, let's walk ourselves up into a neutral table. Okay, so we're actually going to slide a little bit further back. We're going to turn our knees to face the front. We're going to do a modified chaturanga. Okay, so slowly lower yourself to the ground. So half push-up down to the ground. Good, awesome. From here, we're going to come into our first back bend. We're going to come into Sphinx pose. All right, so in our Sphinx pose, just going to shimmy down a bit here. In our Sphinx pose, we are going to have our elbows just about an inch above your chest bone, okay? We're going to gaze towards the front of the room. We're not going to sink our neck and relax into our shoulders. We're going to lengthen. So pretend I am pulling you. There's a string on top of your head, and I'm pulling you towards the top of the room. So we're going to lengthen our spine. Okay, so the whole idea is to really get our posture better, right? We're going to sit up taller, stand up taller, and we're going to lengthen the posture. So gaze towards the front of the room. Even maybe, we'll have, towards the front of the room. Have your head up nice and tall, and you're going to gaze, and your shoulders are just going to, your feet are going to be hip distance apart. Okay, so top of the toes on the mats and hold this here. Again, try not to sink, try not to let your neck cave into your chest. Good, hold this here. And we're gonna start to do a variation. So we're gonna lift the left foot off the ground, and we're gonna gaze past our right shoulder. Okay, so lift your left foot off the ground and gaze past your right shoulder, just to give yourself a twist. Good, leave your left foot back on the ground. Inhale, bring your right foot up towards the ceiling, and then gaze past your left shoulder, all staying in your Sphinx pose. Good, drop your right leg. Inhale, lift your left. Gaze past your right and hold it there. Good, exhale down. Inhale up, gaze past your left shoulder and hold us here for 3, 2, 1. Good, last one, guys. Deep inhale. And gaze past your right shoulder and hold us here. Good, for 3, and 2, and 1. Good, drop your feet. Let's bring our hands to the corners of our mat. Okay, so the middle finger should align with the corner of the mat, and we're going to come into what's called a seal pose. Okay, so in our seal pose, essentially we are going to slowly increase our back bend. Okay, so from Sphinx, this is a nice mild back bend. Okay, so if you feel that this is your limit for today, or as far as your spine can your spine can bend, then I would just leave it here. Otherwise, let's try to go a little further. Okay, so let's try to challenge the spine. Okay, so you're gonna feel it from the lower back. So Your middle finger is going to be pointing towards the corner of your mat. And you're going to lift and you're going to lengthen out your elbows, coming into a Sphinx pose. Sorry, rather this is a seal pose. And hold this here, and legs are going to stay as they are from your Sphinx. Hold this here, gaze forward, and let's hold this here for 5 breaths. Good. 5, 4, 3, good. 2, and 1. Awesome. Let it go. Release. Release the back. We're going to place our thumbs just above our chest bone again. We're going to bring our feet to parallel. So bring them just a little bit closer. Have them to hip distance apart again. And we're going to come to what's called a baby cobra. Okay, so this is a modification of the full cobra, which you'll see in a flow in my later videos. Okay, so we're going to gaze towards the mat. Inhale, we're going to lift everything off the mat. Just lift everything about an inch off. Okay, so your thighs are off the ground, your fingers are off the ground, and you're just going to gaze toward this mat. Okay, so in this posture, you're going to feel, okay, so you're really going to feel your sternum doing a lot of the work here. You're going to feel the length of the lower back, and you should be feeling your muscles activated in your upper back as well. Okay, so if you feel that this might be too challenging for you, I'd encourage you really to start doing more back bends or start doing work for your back, okay? And hold this here, good, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, good. Okay, so from here, we're gonna come into boat pose. All right, guys, I feel like this is turning into a workout, but that's okay. In your boat pose, you're gonna really lengthen and reach for everything. Pretend you're in an X position and hold this here. Okay, so everything's lifted off your back in your boat pose, and you're really focusing on, so your glutes are targeting your lower back and also your upper back. All right, so really reach, pretend you're in an X position, you're being pulled in all 4 corners of the room, and hold this here. Good, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, guys, let it go. Hands by your side. You're gonna rest your left ear on the mats. And then bring your toes and heels to touch. Good, let it go. Deep inhale. And deep exhale. Good, inhale. Exhale. Just really being in tune with your breath. And just really bringing back your breathing and your heart rate to a regular heartbeat. Heartbeat to a regular heart rate, rather. And you're just going to allow the mat to support you. Awesome. All right, so from here, what we're going to do is we're going to flip on to our backs, and we're going to do some more back bends on our back. All right, so from here, we're going to come into bridge pose. Okay, so bridge pose is something we went through in one of my earlier videos. I believe it's the pandemic stress relief one. All right, so bringing our knees towards the ceiling. Okay, so we're going to bring our feet to hip distance apart, knees towards the ceiling, arms down, palms facing palms facing the mat. So again, this mild back bend. So your bridge is actually going to prepare you for what's called the wheel, which is something that I will show you also in another video, a more advanced video for back bends. So this is really good to start to lubricate the spine, to start to lengthen or start to make the discs in between your vertebrae more pliable. Okay, so your back is made up of a bunch of vertebrae. Won't quote the number because I'm not too sure, but in between all your vertebrae is little squishy tissue, and they're called discs. So the degree to how squishy your discs are is to the degree to how much you can actually do back bends and how flexible it can be. Okay, so our bridge pose is going to help us set the tone and build a foundation for wheel and all the other ones coming up. All right, guys. Have your arms down, palms by your side. We're gonna inhale, lift your glutes, cores, and thighs off the ground. Here we go. You're gonna see that nice and feel that nice curve behind on your lower back. Good. From your knees to nose, you are a ski slope. Okay? Take your hands, interlace your fingers. We're gonna roll our left shoulder back. Then we're gonna roll our right shoulder back. Okay, so this is going to increase our flexibility and increase the degree of our back bend here, okay? And we're gonna have our toes pointing towards the back wall and hold this here. Okay, so as you can see with my shoulders, because we rolled them back, we're also opening up our shoulders as well. Okay, so going back to what I said about sitting down, being at a computer, playing off with your gadgets, you know, or just watching a lot of TV, driving, you know, we're all guilty. I know I'm also guilty of doing all those things. They're a part of life, but we also need to remember what we're doing to our poor little shoulders and our neck. And bridge right here is allowing us to really open them again, okay? So we need to open them up so that our posture gets better, and also we release the tension that we're holding in the neck and the shoulders. Good. We're going to drop our glutes towards the mats. Awesome. Bring your toes and heels to touch, knees together. Let's give ourselves a couple of windshield wipes from side to side. All right, guys. 5 big breaths here on your own. I like the number 5. It's a good number to stick to. Good break to have when you need to breathe it out. Awesome. We're going to do bridge 2 more times, okay? All right, so let's come to neutral position. Neutral means we have our knees towards the ceiling and we come into the original resting position. Let's have our feet to hip distance apart. Our feet to hip distance apart. I said it right this time. So we're going to have our arms down, palms down. Here we go, coming into bridge again. For 3, 2, 1, increase. Here we go. Lift your glutes, core, and thighs off the ground. Bring your chin towards that collarbone. Good. Bring your chin towards that clavicle. Take your hands, interlace the fingers. Bring them towards your heels. Let's roll the left shoulder back. Roll the right shoulder back. And we're going to hold this here. So rolling the shoulder back also helps with your bridge, right? So it's actually helping you get further up into your posture and getting you deeper into the pose. And at the same time, it's also opening up those shoulders, okay? So it's like a win-win all around and it's also strengthening your glutes and also strengthening your hammies and your thighs, okay? So legs, pretty much. All right, hold this here. Win-win-win for everyone. Hold this here, good for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop everything. Lower your glutes towards the ground. All right, bring your toes and heels to touch, and let's open our knees towards the side of the room. Send our arms down, nice and long, palms facing up. Take a couple breaths here, guys. Take 5 big breaths here, and let's allow ourselves to open up and rest as well. Okay, so if you feel that your knees cannot drop as far as they do, as mine do currently, you can take a blanket, you can roll it up, put them underneath your thighs so that it lifts your knees, so that it takes tension off your hips, okay? And then you can also take a block, you can take pillows, anything that allows your knees to elevate, okay? All right. On 3, 2, 1, good. Let's bring our knees back to touch. And let's do our 3rd bridge, okay? We can do it, almost there. Arms down, palms facing up. Let's bring our feet to hip distance apart. Here we go. Inhale, lift your glutes, cores, and thighs off the ground. All right, chin to your chest. From knees towards your shoulders, you are on a ski slope. Take your hands, interlace them, bring them towards your heels. Roll that left shoulder back. Roll that right shoulder back again. Okay? So as you practice your back bends, as you do your bridge and all the other ones we've gone through in the video, you're going to start to increase your flexibility. Okay, so you'll start to see changes in your posture. You'll really start to feel your abs also lengthening as well. And this is also going to really help with mobility in your spine, and lots of great things you can do to preserve your back. Okay, and we're gonna hold this here for 5 more breaths. You guys got it. Ooh. Deep inhale for 3. Exhale, here we go. And 1, lower release. Good job, guys. Bring your knees into your chest. Inhale. We're going to take our hands, grab onto your elbows, and then really bring your forehead towards your knees. Give yourself a nice tight squeeze. All right, good, guys. Let it go and relax. Okay, send your legs out nice and long. Arms down, palms facing up. Have your feet to mat distance apart and have your arms down, palms facing up beside you. We're going to gently rest our eyes. And we're just going to focus on the breath. Really being still with the earth. Letting the earth support us. Letting our backs rest now that we've done about 20 minutes of back bends. Let's place our right hand on our tummy and our left hand on our heart. And giving thanks and gratitude for today's practice. Letting gravity do its thing and letting your body rest into the mat. And allow yourself to be in the present moment. Thanking yourself for showing up and thanking yourself for being there and taking 20 minutes out of your day just for yourself. Alright guys, thank you guys all so much for joining my video today. It's been a pleasure leading you through the beginner back bend class. From my heart to yours, have a wonderful day and namaste.